party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, an RPG podcast built for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week I am joined by Kevin Gallagher from That Entertains for a game of Cubicle 7's Doctor Who, Adventures in Time and Space. Kevin hosts the interview show Everything is Awesome, where he talks to cool people about the awesome things they've got going on. I was recently a guest on the show, and you should absolutely check it out. We talk about Superman, and Chikara Pro, and the weirdness that is the Middle-earth role-playing game. Now, normally, when it comes to playing games, I throw it over to be in the past. But I kind of wanted to change it up this week, and I've got this TARDIS. What do you say we give it a spin? Just step in here, and let's see if I can pull this, twist that lever, let's see the date. That shouldn't do it, right?
Hey, it worked. Kevin Gallagher, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you for having me.
This is going to be great. So, Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you got going on?
All right, well, I'm Kevin Gallagher. Most people just kind of know me by Kev, or if you're a longtime fan of me, you know me of Steel Tip, my old school radio personality. And I do podcasting and also internet comedy site. My podcast is Everything is Awesome, which is on thatentertains.com, where we also have like a cool little web series that we just started that's a parody of Batman. So that's fun.
I do love Batman parodies.
Yes, it's a quick synopsis of it, quick elevator pitch, is it's what happens in a world where Superman has stopped all crime in Gotham and Batman has nothing to live for, really.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
So we have 2 episodes posted on YouTube and thatentertains.com, and we have more coming in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I am. That sounds great. I'm also. So let's dive in. I am super excited. We are playing Doctor Who: Adventures in Time and Space, the official Cubicle 7 role-playing game. You are playing the Doctor.
Yes, something that I've dreamed of my entire life.
Well, that's what we do here on Party of One. We make dreams come true. So why don't, first and foremost, you know what? I think what we're going to do is we're going to just dive right into the show, and I think any questions we have about backstory and stuff will come up in play.
Okay.
So we'll start with the pre-credits sequence, because every good episode of Doctor Who has a good pre-credit sequence.
That's right.
We open on a wide shot of an seemingly endless, like wild, untamed forest. We cut to a series of quick shots of a kid in his late teens, bushy hair, wearing like a fur cloak, carrying a wooden spear, running through the woods, chasing a giant prehistoric stag. And we cut and we see the stag running, and then we cut back from above and we see a fireball is racing towards the earth. We see the child, we see him duck down, we see the stag run through a clearing, we see the child rear up, and then that fireball crashes down in a clearing in front of him. We cut in the distance and we see the stag scamper off as the child is standing over this smoldering crater. Pan over the crater, we see the remains of a spaceship, and a 3-fingered alien hand reaches up and grips the edge of the crater.
The Party of One podcast. With no cooperation from the British Broadcasting Company, is proud to present Doctor Who: The Gift of Prometheus. Starring Kevin Gallagher as the Doctor, and GM Jeff Stormer as everyone else.
We cut to a shot of the TARDIS. My first question for you, Kevin, is what does the Doctor's TARDIS look like in this regeneration?
You know what? Has reverted back to a style that he's very fond of from his 10th incarnation, where it's very, rustic looking, very, not doesn't have those circle thingies.
Sure. The choral theme.
Yes. No.
Yeah. Okay. So we get a sweeping circle shot, like a round shot of the TARDIS. And the Doctor is by himself. Describe to me what the Doctor looks like and what he's doing at this instant.
He is he's younger than the 12th incarnation. He's still not ginger. He's actually, he's gone for a bald look this time.
Okay.
And worst of all, he has an American accent, this time around. And he is
really appealing to that American crowd.
Yeah, that's they just don't have enough ratings out here yet, and he is just sitting on the steps of the TARDIS and just staring at the floor.
Okay, yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a story point and ask you one last question.
Okay.
You sensed your character feels the turn of the universe, as the Doctor always does. You sense problems in the timeline. You sense when things in the universe are not the way they should be. So I want to ask you, my question to you is, why has the Doctor felt a disturbance and either ignored it or brushed it off or has chosen or did not really notice it? You know what I mean? Something to that effect.
So he noticed this. He felt the fireball crashing to what we assume is Earth, but his mind is simply just still very heavy with the loss of Clara from a few months back, and even more recently after spending 24 years with knowing that it was his last time with River Song.
Okay, yeah. So he's in a dark place, and he feels this tingling in the back of his neck that something is not right. But he shrugs it off. It's not his problem. Time passes. We get a series of shots of the Doctor strolling around the TARDIS. Now, we talked you sent me over your character sheet, and you mentioned that he has settled somewhere on Earth. Where do you envision that being?
I envision that being, because of the American accent and him wanting to blend in as much as he can. He's somewhere in America. Let's say New York. Well, who doesn't want to go to New York?
Yeah. Okay. So he's in New York. The Doctor is sitting, and you step out of the TARDIS to get something to eat or drink. Well, the Doctor doesn't. You know what I mean? To get something.
Yeah.
What's the Doctor getting? What does he need that he's stepping out to get?
From his time on Earth, he knows that when Earthlings feel this way, that they kind of enjoy the adult drink from time to time. So he's gonna try to see if that helps his mind at all. Okay,
so your throat is dry. You feel parched. You want nothing more than a drink. You step to the door of the TARDIS. You snap your fingers. Nothing happens. The doors, they don't budge. You snap your fingers again. Nothing happens. You force your way through the doors. And you are not greeted by the bustling New York street that you've settled on. You are greeted a smoldering, lifeless wasteland.
Whoa. This is not what I expected.
Yeah. That tingling in the back of your neck. Now you're starting to piece together what that tingling was.
Okay.
Yeah, so something has changed in the timeline so dramatically that it's all gone haywire. So I am going to ask of you an awareness plus...
And while this is going on, I'm going to do the classic holding my finger in the air to see if I can feel what century I'm in.
Yeah, you do that. You sense immediately that you are in the TARDIS hasn't moved. You should be in 2016. But this is not the 2016, but the timeline around you has changed because of some event that has happened. So I'm going to ask you to make an awareness plus ingenuity roll.
Okay. And that's what, 2d6?
Yeah, plus your awareness and ingenuity scores.
So that's a 10 plus 7, 17, and another 4 is 21.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you easily succeed. You realize that at some point in human history, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen, something fell into the wrong hands, and humanity did what it is sometimes unfortunately good at doing, and it destroyed itself. You head to the TARDIS.
I curse the humans while I do that.
Of course. You head to the TARDIS. You start, flipping through, library books in the TARDIS library. You start entering information into the TARDIS computers. You said you got a 27?
Yes.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
21.
Oh, 21, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you succeed well. Not fantastic, but well. So you get what you want, which is you're able to figure out, you're flipping through the history books and the computer documents, and you're seeing the discrepancies. You can see where they start to be small and where they get larger and larger and larger. What it is dating back centuries, you're seeing these reports of, they call themselves Prometheans. People who wield the fire of Prometheus. And they conquered cities. You hear tale of the failed revolution of
Charlemagne.
You hear tale of the execution of the insurgent Genghis Khan, and so on and so forth. And it keeps going back until
well into the Dark Ages.
You see reports of a battle that was turned. You see sort of a mythical tale, almost like the Iliad, of a series of warriors that have been given the fire of the gods and used it to quell their enemies and bring peace to the land. This was not in your books yesterday.
So, and what time? When did this happen?
Dark Ages pre-Magna Carta, so 1st century or so.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set course for the 1st century.
Okay, yeah. You're not going to have to roll because you rolled well enough that you kind of automatically know where you have to be. So the TARDIS sets flight. You fly through it, you hear the distinctive gong that you've landed. You put up your finger to the air and you get the first thing you sense on your finger is life, which is a welcome feeling after the quote-unquote New York that you just found yourself in.
Okay.
The second thing that you feel is the distinct feeling of the Dark Ages on your finger.
I kind of during this I'm going to kind of smile because I kind of this setting fits my mood.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yep. So you snap your fingers, the TARDIS doors open as it is safe to exit. You walk out. You're in the middle of a giant forest, suspiciously similar to the one that the viewers saw earlier.
Okay.
All is quiet. The doors close behind you. You look around. You feel there's a certain serenity to where you are. There's a certain atmosphere of solemn solitude, and that fits you very well. And that's about when the laser beam comes over your shoulder and hits the door of the TARDIS.
I duck as this happens.
Yeah, it goes right over your shoulder. Okay. You dodge it, you duck. You look up, and there is a man, a pudgy man, balding with a thick beard. Thick, red-haired beard. He is pointing a laser cannon at you and at the TARDIS.
All right, I'm gonna try to talk to him and ask him what time is he from and what is he doing here? What's his purpose?
Okay, make me a roll using your presence plus, we will say convince. Yeah.
Oh, that is going to be a 2 plus 3, so 5, and another 5, that's 10.
Okay. He is also going to roll. Well, remember. Well, I should point this out partially because it's a cool story thing to know. Is you do have a pool of story points.
Okay.
You can do a number of cool things, which are listed on one of the 2 pages of your character sheet. One of which is if you fail at this, you can salvage that to a certain degree.
Okay.
Or if you want to up front, you can add dice. You can add additional dice rolls to the to your total. Okay. So if you want to spend one of those up front, or you can see where it goes, potentially recover a failure.
Yeah, let's play on the edge and see if I can recover from a failure, if it's a failure.
He rolls 1, 4, 5, 6. He rolls a 9. So you do succeed in convincing yeah, okay. I know exactly how this goes. Okay. So what exactly do you say to him?
I say, whoa, sir, whoa, what time frame what are you doing here? Why?
I could ask you the same question in your magic box.
It's just a box. It's well, I guess it is bigger on the inside, but
it's a box that wasn't there a moment ago.
Well, I am here to see what's going on. There's trouble in the future where there's no people whatsoever. So I sense there's something wrong. Are you up to this?
You're talking like a wizard of some kind. What is this magic that you speak of? You know what? This isn't my doing. You're gonna come with me, and you're gonna talk to the chieftain.
Who's the chieftain?
The chieftain, chief. Hold on. Oh, gotta pull up a name. I didn't get it. Didn't give this guy. I didn't give this guy a name.
Do I know what race or what alien type this guy is?
Yeah, actually, this dude is. You do know what alien type this is. This dude is a Scot.
A Scot. Okay. So do I know that he's peaceful, or are they?
Yeah. He has lowered his gun. He's lowered his gun, but he's sort of nudging it for you to go with him. He's not posing any sort of a threat to you at the moment.
All right, I will.
You've talked him down from violent distrust.
All right, I will trust him with some slight caution.
Chief Steffen.
What's that name?
Steffen.
Okay, I'm gonna call him Chief S. Chief Staff.
Fair. With the luck that we've had with you magic types, we suspect we've been told to treat any more of these magical beings with a certain degree of respect. So if you would come with me, I can introduce you to the chief, and we can see where you will fit in with our new regime.
I will. I don't know if I'm going to go and fit in with your regime. I'm here to save the planet. As much as I don't want to be here, I have to. So, take me to your leader.
Okay. Yeah. So we sidewipe over. You are sitting in a tent, in a deerskin tent. There's some people hunched over a stump with a sheet of papyrus over it that is being used as a makeshift map. There's a group of people all crowded around the same young man that we saw earlier in the pre-credit sequence. So a young boy, really a young boy, late teens, okay. bushy strawberry blonde hair, wearing that fur cape, spear resting on the ground next to him as he looks over a map. Your portly bearded friend guides you in, carrying the laser rifle.
So while we're walking to camp here, where did you get this laser rifle?
Oh, this was the gift. This was the gift of the heavens. They came to Chief Steffen. They came to Chief Steffen from above. He brought them to us that we might conquer the Wolf Riders and finally bring peace to the region.
Who are the Wolf Riders?
The Wolf Riders are they are a band of raiders. You must really not be from around here if you don't know the Wolf Riders.
I'm a quite a bit out of town, if you know what I mean.
I don't, but I'm going to continue anyway. The Wolf Riders are a gang of bandits. They have ravaged this area for many a moon, but we've previously not been strong enough to fight them. We've had to live our lives on the run in hiding, lest they show up. But with the weapons that we've been gifted from the heavens, we think we may be able to stop them.
Okay. I'll let's go talk to your boss man here.
All right, so he guides you into the tent. Like I said, there's a group of people huddled over a map. Stefan sits at the helm, holding his spear.
While we walk by this map, can I get a quick glimpse of it to see what they're looking at as we walk by?
Sure. It's a crudely drawn map of you can gather it's of the region.
Okay.
Why don't you make me a roll? Your awareness plus, we'll say survival.
Okay, so that's 6, that's 10, and that's 15.
Okay, yeah. So you find a few pieces of information. You get the layout of the area, that it's where you're in a wooded area along a cliff. The waters of the Atlantic are past the cliff. So it's it's right sort of on the coast.
Okay.
You see notes, you see red X's. You can presume these are where the Wolf Riders have attacked roving tribes. And you also see on there what is essentially almost like a morning star, like that really elaborate star design in a small clearing to the southwest. You get the sense that is where you get the sense that something miraculous happened, probably tied into this quote unquote gift from the heavens.
Okay.
So that is what you know so far.
All right, let's go talk to Staffy here.
All right. Who is this man? Why have you brought him to me? He claims knowledge not of this world. I suspect he is akin to those that brought the gifts of the heavens. He looks like an Englishman.
I tell them that I give them my name. I say I am the doctor, and I flash out my psychic paper real quick to show some credentials.
You come with a seal. You come with a seal from the Court of England.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Interesting that they would send one of their representatives, or the Court of Rome, I suppose it would be, but England is technically, it's the same deal.
Okay.
You're a representative of the Court of England. It's interesting that they would send one of their bureaucrats to our surroundings. We are not a settled people.
Well, danger's danger, and I need to make sure that nothing spooky happens.
The danger is well under control, thanks to our divine gift.
Under control. I saw a lot of red X's on that map, man. I don't know how under control this is.
Those attacks were in the past. The Wolf Riders. We have tracked their location. Tomorrow we strike, and the Wolf Riders will be of no concern.
Is there? Let's see. What do I have? Something that to try to sense if this guy is like evil, I guess.
Yeah, you can make me a awareness plus resolve to get a sense of this dude's, or awareness plus presence rather, to get a sense of this dude's deal.
So that's 14, 17.
Okay. He is not evil. He is perhaps. You get a certain sense of unease in his zealousness. The doctor has never been a fan of, what's the word I'm looking for? A sense of military braggadocio. The doctor's never been a fan of that. Yeah. And you get a very unsettling amount of that sort of macho attitude from him. So he's not evil, but he seems unchecked It seems like he carries himself with a certain dangerous confidence, so to speak.
Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he could. He can get us into a lot of trouble, I think.
Yeah. You do get the sense. You get the sense that if left unchecked, that this dude is going to be the linchpin in whatever apocalyptic scenario eventually comes about.
Okay. So, listen, Staffy, this technology you have is far too advanced for your people. I would like to see where this came from.
The Court of England wishes to see the presence of our divine gift. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
He is going to oppose you, and I'm going to say, make me a roll of presence plus convince.
4, 7, and 5, 12.
Okay, so you failed by exactly 1. So if you spend a story point, you can bump that up to a success with a complication.
Okay, let's spend a story point. I got a couple to use here.
Okay.
So
Okay, yeah, we shall. Let us take a trip. We are owed our rights of gratitude to the divine gift, and perhaps with your courtly influence, you may be inclined to abandon your previous life and join us on the wandering road, lest there be consequences. And you see a guy reaching for a knife.
I steady my hand on my sonic screwdriver because not that I assume there's other alien technology on somebody here. So I ready the sonic screwdriver.
There's a great visual of the guy going for the knife and you going for the sonic screwdriver on your belt in the exact same way. And then then we cut. He takes you on a walking path. You come to the clearing. There's a crater in the ground. Make me a roll of technology plus ingenuity. Everything, we'll say every category over 12, you'll get a factoid about what you're looking at.
All right, so we got ingenuity 7, technology is 5, that's 12, plus, what did I roll? 6, 18.
18, okay. So you recognize this as, you see that it is the ruins of a spaceship, a manned vessel.
My eyes kind of perk because this always interests me.
Yeah. It is a manned space vessel. You recognize it from an alien species called the Zetraxi. They are a fairly harmless race, except they've been known to dabble slightly recklessly in time travel. So you're not overwhelmingly surprised that one of their ships hurtled through time and crashed, because they're a species that is more eager to play with its toys than learn how their toys work.
So when I see this, I start shaking my head and say, no. This is not good.
You take issue with our divine gift, Mr. Doctor.
I take issue with who gave you this divine gift. This is not good.
You take issue with the gods. Perhaps you'd wish to speak with one of them.
You have one here. There's one here.
Yes, he came, and we resuscitated him.
Let's speak with this god, and I use my air quotes around that.
What is this magical gesture that you do with your fingers?
Just take me to the guy.
All right, yeah. So they walk you around the site a little bit just to show you their divine gift. They're very proud of it.
While we walk around, I do. No, you know what? I'll keep the sonic screwdriver hidden for now.
Okay.
So let's keep walking.
Yeah. So you walk around. They show you it. You see that it's very badly damaged. You see the ashen remnants of at least one body. You know that it was a bad crash. There could not have been many survivors. They walk you around, they take you back to their camp, and they take you to a very large tent, much larger than the other ones. On it, there's a few people laying on makeshift old world cots.
And are they just sleeping? Are they injured?
Injured people, yeah,
Okay.
injured in various fights. You know how it is in the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages or what have you. Yeah, and on there is one Zitraxi, which they are purple skinned, green eyes like a cat's eyes, 3-fingered hands, and he's wearing a tattered spacesuit and like a helmet, but the visor's been smashed. He is sitting, barely moving. They keep feeding him water, and he very reluctantly accepts it. Actually, no, he very eagerly like chugs it down.
So I'm gonna approach this guy and ask him what's he doing here.
He perks up. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to ask you, because I'm going to say because you have a certain degree of control over the TARDIS's universal translator. You have a choice that you can make. You can ask him this in English or whatever version of Old English you are currently speaking. Or you can ask him in Zitraxi.
I'm going to ask him in his tongue.
Okay, yeah. So everyone around you steps back, and they're like, he's speaking the tongue of the divine. How does he do that? How is he one of the divine? Has he been fooling us? Is he a trickster? And they're all whispering. Meanwhile, the eyes of the Zitraxi go wide. You know of my tongue?
I know of
How?
many things. How I am the doctor.
This is wonderful news. This is wonderful news. Thank you. Please, water. And he waves them over, and he starts getting panicked, and he knocks back another giant bowl of water. The hydrogen in water, it helps me breathe. The visor is broken. They don't seem to understand. Their knowledge of science does not match that of what you or I would be used to. And he pulls you in close. We have to escape. You know that, right?
I have a confused look at my face, and I ask, escape what?
He just nudges. He just looks up, and you see Stefan with his spear and the two guys with laser rifles. We need to. This can't end well. These are children. These are children we're dealing with. They are not prepared to be dealing with the things that they have stolen from me. Let's put it frankly. They have stolen it from myself and my friends. My friends.
So you're proposing we run and let them keep this technology?
No. What I am proposing is we need to find a way to escape to my ship, get the systems working on it. If we can activate the emergency vortex manipulator that is built into the ship's core, the technology will warp away with us. It's all keyed to the ship. The problem is that the ship is damaged. And you're talking in Zitraxi, so they're all just staring at you, so you can talk freely of this plan with no knowledge.
Can I sense if this alien is telling the truth, like he really is trying to save Earth here, or does he have a ulterior motive?
Make me an awareness plus presence roll.
7, 11, and that's 14.
You get the sense that he is at least mostly on the level. You can't tell if he is... You get the sense that he's hiding something, but whatever it is, you can tell he at least genuinely does want to get this technology out of these primitive hands and get off of planet.
All right, so I'm gonna. Do I know if the TARDIS is closer than his ship?
Right now, I'm gonna say it's probably about equal distance, just in opposite directions.
Okay, because I'm wondering, because I want to take him to the TARDIS so that he can breathe easier.
That makes sense. That would probably be that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, so I suggest to him that I take him back to my spaceship and so that he can recover much easier.
I would like that very much. I have heard, the Zitraxi have heard tales of the TARDIS, the living machine, and to get to sit in one would be most exciting. It would be a true joy to a scientist such as I. But there is the problem of getting us there, at least, if nothing else, getting us out of this tent.
So I turn to the chief staff guy, and I speak in English now, or Old English, and
Sure.
I say, this man cannot recover here. Your god will die here. If we take him back to my magic box, I can save him.
Make me a presence and convince roll. You have to beat a 17.
All right, so, I got 15.
Okay. You have two options. Either one will require, you can spend a story point, or you can take a failure with a consolation. So essentially no, but it's not all bad. You can spend a story point to bump it up to yes, but it's not all good. Or you can spend a story point and roll 2 additional dice, at which point you will pretty assuredly succeed the roll.
All right, I will spend a story point and roll the dice.
Okay.
And that's an additional 9.
Cool. So you get a yes and. You get yes and a cool thing happens. Do you have an idea of an additional benefit, in addition to them walking you to your TARDIS and letting you do your magic? Do you have an idea of an additional cool thing that you want to get out of this exchange, or not?
And you can tell me if this is way off base. I would like to see if I could possibly borrow one of this alien technology rifles, just so I can take a look at it in the TARDIS with the, no peeping toms, no peeping eyes on me.
Yeah. You give them a very, you lean hard into the magic of the situation. So you give them a whole, ooh, and then you talk about their god dying and your magic box. And they and you tell them you need one of their magic guns. And they hand it to you. You step into they walk you to the TARDIS, but you see that 2 men with rifles are still standing outside of it.
And they're going to let us in, though, right?
Yeah. You snap your fingers. Yeah, you're let into the TARDIS without problem.
Okay, all right. So while we're in there, if he needs any kind of assistance from the TARDIS, I obviously let him get that assistance.
Sure.
While I inspect, I take the sonic screwdriver out and inspect the gun.
Okay. Yeah. The TARDIS. You sense a change in the air as the TARDIS immediately starts dumping in, harmless to you because you are the Doctor, but vital to him because he breathes hydrogen. It's dumping hydrogen into the air. So he is breathing comfortably.
And I ask him how he's doing, if he needs anything else. The TARDIS is at his beck and call.
You have saved my life. Now we must set about saving the planet.
So tell me about these weapons. Why would you bring such dangerous weapons to this planet?
The thing about expeditions is you have to be prepared for the threats of. You've got to be prepared for a threat. People are trying to take your equipment or, make me an awareness and presence check.
6, 10, 13.
You can tell he is bluff. You can't tell what he's bluffing about, per se, but you can tell that he is just blowing smoke to make himself seem more important.
How do I want to approach this? So, is the sonic screwdriver giving me any details about the weapon?
Yeah, let me, yes. Roll me a technology plus ingenuity. Add 2 because you're scanning with the sonic screwdriver.
Alright. That's 14, 18. That's 20.
Yeah. You're scanning the rifles. So they are cued. They're about what he said they were. They're cued to the ship. They are, they're pretty standard laser rifles. There's standard Zitraxi technology. There's a built-in link to a vortex manipulator. They are time weapons, essentially. But
all right. Is there a way for me, with the sonic screwdriver, to disable the weapon without him realizing it?
Yes, I'm going to say it's an opposed roll. Again, the same thing you just did. We'll spend one of the story points from the sonic screwdriver to do a thing that you're doing, to do a thing that it doesn't normally do, since you're using it for magic, essentially. So we'll spend one of those. It comes with a certain number. The way that gadgets work in Doctor Who is that they actually have story points in them, specifically so that you can do whatever the plot calls for with your special device.
Gotcha.
It's a really clever thing.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a really clever way to integrate the Doctor Who mythology of this device will do what I need it to. So you're going to spend a story point out of that, make the roll with ingenuity plus technology plus 2.
So 14, 19, that's 22.
Yeah, okay, so 22. Yeah, he does not notice. He does not know. So, okay, what happens? You can decide if you're still going to go through with it, but here's what's going to happen. As you're fiddling with the sonic screwdriver, it's making sonic screwdriver noises, you know that you can disable it, and he won't notice, because it just looks like you're scanning it. But if you disable it, it's not gonna do anything. Like, it's not gonna fire. It's not gonna disappear if the ship disappears.
Oh.
Like, you can just turn the whole thing off, and then you can turn it back on later for free now that you've succeeded at the roll. Like,
Okay.
you know how to turn it back on. But you can
let's turn it off for now.
Okay, so you turn the whole thing off.
Yes,
He doesn't notice, though. That's the important thing.
Yes.
So he is still sort of puffing his chest about, like, this is a dangerous job. It's dangerous times that we live in. We in the Zatraxi Explore Corps need to be prepared for threats across time and space. And
So I look at him and say something about his lot in time travel. It's time travel is a dangerous thing. I've been doing it for a very long time, sir, and you're messing with fire that you don't even understand.
he gets right up in your face. We know exactly what we're dealing with. I have trained for this expedition my entire life. How dare you?
I just kind of stare him down, and I say, "All right, let's go to your ship and let's get rid of these weapons."
Okay, but as you're staring him down, like there's a silent moment where you stare him down, and he leans into your face, and he just kind of like shrinks back.
All right,
like he
like
deep
that.
down knows that he knows that he is not on your level, and he knows on some level that you are saying the exact truth.
Okay, yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah. So you said you're going to head back?
Yes, head back to the crater.
Okay.
Well, so I guess will the Scots they let us back to the crater?
Well, it's funny that you mention that, because you step out, you mention to one of them, we'd like to see the and that's when you hear shouts and horns from the distance. The Wolf Riders are here! They're coming! Ready for battle! And they despite the fact that they are from the Dark Ages and they have never seen a gun before, the two guys look at each other and lift up the guns and do the classic, lock and load. They don't say it, but they give the gesture, and you're like, how did they learn that? Where did they get that from?
This is a strange first century. Okay, so I look at the purple guy and ask him how quick it will take to get to his ship to disable these weapons, or not to disable, to take care of these weapons.
A few minutes. We can and should run. So a few minutes. And as he's explaining this, getting tired, you can see that the oxygen, the air here is already messing with him. It's not poisoning him, but it's clearly taking so much effort to get the hydrogen that he needs to breathe.
Okay, so I think I want to go to the crater and go to his ship and try to take care of these weapons before we have to deal with the bloodbath.
Okay.
So yeah, let's head to his ship.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to make me a roll. As you start to run, you see the Wolf Riders, and they are exactly, the name is almost on the nose. There's a brief moment where you look at them and you're like, okay, I get it. They ride wolves.
Do they have any other kind of do they have normal weapons what would fit the first century?
Yeah. They are not wielding anything fancy. They are straight up wielding swords and bows and that kind of thing.
Okay.
However,
Right.
they're throwing spears, they are winging knives and swinging swords around, and it's chaos. So you need to make me a roll to avoid getting into a conflict.
All right.
Make me athletics plus coordination, because that's higher than strength. Unless you can justify one of your other attributes.
Athletics and coordination. That makes sense to me.
Okay, yeah, then we'll do that.
That makes All right, so that's 12, 15, and 19.
Okay, yeah. You narrowly avoid catastrophe on the way there, but you are caught in a battle. There's a battle scene at the crater. You hear, as you arrive, you hear someone say, "They're trying to get the divine gift." And you see that they're trying to fight them back. There are lasers firing. There are swords and arrows flying. It's chaos. So you avoided them, but there's chaos unfolding at the crater.
So, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to whip something out from a previous life of mine.
Sure.
I'm going to scream stop and just with all my vocal cords and strength scream, I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castoburus, if I pronounce that right.
Yep.
I've lost count of how old I am, and I'm the man who's going to stop you.
Okay. Yeah.
You got a problem with that?
That's fantastic. Yeah, make me that. We'll make that a roll, and we will add 4 to that, because that is perfect.
So that is a 10.
Present, and then add your presence and convince to that.
13. That's 18 total.
18 total. Okay. So, the people around you, they stop. You do manage to, with your incredible presence, there's that great shot from below where you look like 7 feet tall, and the clouds seem to converge around you as you're giving the whole monologue, and we just get shots of people stopping and lowering their weapons. Everyone is paying attention to you. However, you notice that we'll say 4 of the Wolf Riders. Did you bring the alien with you, or is he at the TARDIS? I don't remember.
I suggested we run there, so I guess he came with me.
Okay, yeah, so he's there, and he's wheezing. He is exhausted. You see 4 of the Wolf Riders, in awe. They have stopped fighting, but they are now beginning to circle you, as you have identified yourself as on another level.
As they're doing this, I kind of, under my breath, whisper to this guy, to the alien friend of mine here, and I say, "I'm totally doing this off the fly. I'm not sure what my game plan is here."
I have a confession to make.
What's that?
This whole expedition has kind of been on the fly as well, so I feel you.
All right. Glad we're in the same place. So I put my attention to the 4 Wolf Riders circling me, and I'm kind of taking it all in, looking at them, and trying to sense what they're thinking, what they're about to do.
They want to take you in. That's not even, I don't even need a roll for that. They were here to take that divine gift. Once they caught wind of that divine gift, they wanted that divine gift. And now that you have identified yourself as a being above them, they figure the 2 of you are probably a pretty good consolation prize.
So they're being hostile about this?
They not yet, because you have put the fear in them. You have essentially invoked every bit of your quote unquote divine heritage.
Okay, so I will look at all of them and tell them to step aside before, and I have my sonic screwdriver out, and I point it towards them, but I don't press the button to make it make sounds, and I say before it gets crazy.
They drop their weapons. All right. Let's do a roll. We'll say this is subterfuge and presence. So +6 plus the 2d6 plus if you want to spend story points.
So it's 9.
And you can spend the story points from your screwdriver here if you so choose.
So it was presence. You
Yes.
said was the second one. All right, so that's 15.
15. Yeah. Okay. You succeed. They see you point a thing at them, and they're like, they rear up. The wolves rear up. They drop their weapons, and the 4 of them that are around you run off, like scamper off.
All right, so with them out of the way, I help the purple guy towards his ship, while still keeping my sonic screwdriver out, just to make sure no one comes near me. And we have to go in his ship to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, you have to go in the ship. You can get in because the doors have been blasted, essentially crashed, like smashed open.
All right, so when we get in there, I help him to the floor and so that he can catch his breath, and I ask him where's the thing that I have to disable or to take everything down.
It just any computer screen will do it. Just you've got to hurry. And at that moment, a shadow falls over the both of you, as standing in the doorway is Chief Staffen with his spear. What are you doing, man of space?
You people, your lot can't handle this technology. I've seen what this technology does, and this world will end. This world will burn if you continue to use it.
I will not let you take this from me. And you see his eyes he's got crazy eyes now.
And as soon as he says that, I say, I will not let you kill this world.
Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is, are you going to make a move? Are you going to try to talk him down, or are you going to make a move for the computer?
I am going to...
Because he is going to come at you with his spear, because he has just snapped now that you're threatening to take away his weaponry.
As he's coming at me, I am going to try to move out of the way, but in the direction of the computers.
Okay. Yeah. So because you are moving, you go first because he is trying to fight. You get to go first. So yeah, you make it to the computer. You're standing there. He runs at you. He watches you run by. He is now ready to make another attack against you as we go into our next set of actions. Meanwhile, I am going to say that the Zitraxi is going to try and talk Chief Staffen down. So I'm going to make a quick roll for that. He does not do well. Yeah, so actually, I am going he tries to talk Staffen down. He puts his spear to the alien's throat and says, "Spaceman, if you make a move, the divine being dies. Make your decision now."
So before I do anything, I look at the purple guy and try to sense if he has if he wants me to move forward, or if he wants me to give in to the Staffy's demands here.
He has the spear to his throat. You can see him shaking and shivering with terror, but he locks eyes with you, and there's a shot of your eyes and a shot of his eyes. And there's a shot of your eyes and a shot of his eyes. And he blinks slowly and closes his eyes and nods at you.
All right, so because I'm the doctor, I will not despite him wanting me to move forward, I will not risk this alien's life.
Take 2 story points for that.
Okay, and I am going to try now to talk to Staffy here and see if I can get him to lower his spear long enough for me to do something at this computer.
Okay. So make me a presence and convince roll, and he will oppose it.
So that's 8 presence. That makes it 11. What was that second one?
Convince.
Presence. So 11. That's 16.
Okay. You succeed, but what happens is he puts his spear down. He starts shaking a little bit. And he says, "They've taken so much from us. You don't understand what taking this gift will do. The lives you claim to be saving, I don't believe that they will outweigh the lives that will be compromised. Are you comfortable making that decision, Doctor?"
And knowing what the future holds, now let's see. What do I want to do here? I'm going to tell him just to try to get an extra second out of
Sure.
this. Is that there are better ways to solve conflicts, even in these dark ages.
And you say that, you start to move towards the computer. He sees you move towards the computer, and he just, "I hope that you're right.
And okay.
I hope that you're right."
So my move now is, instead of doing what this alien wanted me to do, where I would just zap all the technology away,
Mhm.
since in my sonic screwdriver,
Yeah.
I know now how to disable everything. I want to disable all the weapons
Okay.
that are linked through this computer,
Okay.
so that they can never be used again
Okay. Yeah.
without being.
Yeah, make me a ingenuity plus technology. It's going to be very difficult, but you can spend story points from yourself and from the sonic screwdriver to get it, like to help the roll. If you want to add dice to it.
So that's 7, that's 5, that's what? That's 12, 13, that's 15, and definitely at 15, I feel like I'm going to have to spend some story points here.
Yeah. For every story point you spend, you're going to add another 2d6 of rolling onto it. You want to get a 24.
And what did I say I was at? I was
15.
at
You want
15.
9.
So I'm going to spend 2 story points,
Okay.
and so that's 4 dice.
Yeah. The sonic, you're pushing hard on the sonic screwdriver. Which is really classic Doctor Who, that he's just going to point the thing at it and it's going to do a crazy thing.
So that's an additional. I got additional 19 out of that.
Okay, yeah. So you pull it off. Moreover, you pull it. Yeah, you shut it all down. The lights go down. There's a Traxi is sitting, is leaning back. He sees it happen. His eyes go wide. What did you do?
And I look at him and I say, "I told you, with your lot and your dangerous ways of time travel and these dangerous weapons, they should not be in anybody's hands."
Yeah. And he struggles to his feet. He reaches for his he pulls back his spacesuit sleeve to reveal a wrist-mounted vortex manipulator, much like the kind you saw on Time Agents, like Jack Harkness has.
Okay.
You have no appreciation for the fine nuances of science. And he pushes it, and he warps away. Stephen is there watching this, and he's like, what was that?
Yeah, it was just kind of another day, another alien stopped, another world saved.
So yeah, the things have shut down. Things have shut down. He looks around. You see him clang on the side. We could build quite a few things with this metal.
So okay, I want to sense if that's like a legitimate thing he wants to do, or is he like going to try to reactivate these weapons?
No. Yeah, you get the same. He is being. You got the feeling when he was being. You saw him scheme. You saw him be violent and uncontrolled. This is him having been shaken to his core by what you said. You clearly had an impact on him.
So I'll tell him that to make sure that he remembers this day and remembers, what lives were spared, and to, make good use of this medal and use it to protect, to save, not to destroy.
You are a most peculiar man, Doctor, but I will honor your request.
And with that, I leave that ship. I leave him be. I drop the rifle that we had. Or who had that rifle? Did I have that rifle?
I'll say you had it because there's the shot of you like throwing the rifle on the ground and walking off is going to look really cool.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. You drop that. You go back to your ship. You exchange meaningful glances with him, with Stefan, as you vanish off into the future. You arrive back in 2016, right where you were. You step out. You see that your TARDIS is sort of in the wall of a bar in Brooklyn. But it's fine. No one notices. Yeah, you notice that. You see that no one has noticed because it's Brooklyn. No one's going to notice that's happening. But it's all there. You feel at ease. You check your history books. Everything is back to normal with the one exception. There are written reports, archaeology reports, of a great diplomat of the Dark Ages, Stefan the Noble. You see a sculpture that doesn't look quite like him. It's very romanticized. But you recognize him, and you see that he was known for uniting a lot of the nomadic tribes of that area and bringing them shelter and bringing a lot of great tools and shelter and farming equipment to these tribes and helped them settle in the area.
All right. And when I look at that, I do smile. The Doctor has a brief wave of happiness and kind of forgets, his troubles from before this adventure, just for a moment.
So he closes the book, and he leans against the center console, and the doors of the TARDIS swing closed, and we hear the opening pangs of the closing credits, and that is Doctor Who.
Oh man, I loved it. Oh, that's great.
That was really
I loved
good.
it.
That was a lot of fun.
That is. Yes, that is. Searching for the game when you and I first spoke, I was searching for the game, and it came down between this and just like a zombie one. And I've never heard of this one. I've never heard of Doctor Who, and it's so much fun. Thank you for inviting me to this.
Thank you for mentioning it, because I had heard of it, never bought it, and then forgot about it. But it fits perfectly for the show because it's at most you're probably going to have 2 or 3 people, so it worked so well. It was really great. That was a lot of fun. That was some pretty classic Doctor Who action.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I feel like my character, I wanted the character to kind of come back from being super depressed, and he might not be all the way back, but he's on his way. So it went the way I wanted to go on my end.
I'm so happy about that. Oh man, that was great. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at HHWST, and you can also find information about all the productions I do on @ThatEntertains on Twitter, and check out our website, thatentertains.com.
Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really should be getting back. I don't know what this is doing to the timeline. I'll see you in the future, buddy. Let's see if I remember what I'm doing here. I think I pulled this. I'm supposed to, oh jeez, that would be bad. I think that should do it. There we go. That was fun. Anyway, back to business. Be sure to check out Kevin's site at thatentertains.com and follow him on Twitter at HHWST. Then, while you're on Twitter, follow this show at Party of One Pod, then hop over to Facebook and like the show at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. And if you really like the show, there are 2 things you can do to help it more than anything. One is to tell a friend. Helping new people find the show, whether that means writing an iTunes review, recommending it to someone, whatever you do, it means so much to me, and it helps the show achieve bigger and better things. The other is quite simply to come on and be a guest yourself. I'm particularly interested in hearing from and featuring marginalized voices in gaming, people of color, women, LGBT individuals like myself, and so on. I want to use the platform of this podcast to elevate voices within gaming, and I know that extending this invite on the show is a small step, but it's one that I really want to take. Party of One is produced by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank, this episode edited by Jeff Stormer. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, as well as the theme song to Doctor Who. Until next time, thank you for listening, and remember, from the day we arrive on the planet, blinking, step into the sun. There's more to see than can ever be seen. More to do. Hold on, wait a second. No, that's from The Lion King. Never mind.
Never gonna die.